Hello, sports fans. It is Monday, April the 13th, the year 2015. And as always, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. Hope you had a terrific weekend. Let's start with the Masters, where you saw the future of golf on display the last few days as the 21-year-old Jordan Spieth dominates the Masters. He shoots a -18 and he wins wire to wire at the Masters. What an incredible performance by Jordan Spieth, the young 21-year-old. I mean, just an amazing job by him. Remember, he finished second last year. He's been playing really good golf coming into this tournament. He, to me, is the future of golf along with McIlroy. What a performance by Spieth. Wire to wire, setting records all over the course, unflappable, cool as a cucumber. How about his putting game? His putting game, absolutely tremendous. Might be the best putter on tour already. What a job by Jordan Spieth at the Masters. And there was some big scores at the Masters. I mean, a lot of guys played well. Phil Mickelson and Justin Rose finished tied for second at -14, which is nothing to sneeze about. Phil Mickelson said he would have signed for -14 a week ago. I mean, Rory McIlroy got up to -12 after the slow start, and Matsuyama shot a -11. Those were the top five. There was some big scores all over the course, though. Sergio Garcia shot a -5. You know I'm not a big lover of Sergio Garcia. I thought Tiger Woods, under the circumstances, played well. He also shot a -5. I mean, considering how much time he had off, I thought Tiger would hang around in this tournament. Always plays well at the Masters, even when he doesn't win. I did get nervous yesterday when he hit that tree root and he was shaking his hand. I go, here we go again. Tiger Woods has another injury, but he seemed okay. We'll see how Tiger plays the rest of the summer. We'll see if he can stay healthy the rest of the summer. I thought he did play well under the circumstances. Adam Scott, a very disappointing +1. And Bubba Watson, the defending champion, a +1. He didn't play his best golf either, but you got to give Bubba a pass. He won 2 of the last 4 Masters. We'll give him a mulligan on this one. But the day belonged to Jordan Spieth. The weekend belonged to Jordan Spieth. He dominated. -18, goes wire to wire at the Masters. You know how hard that is to do? That hasn't been done in eons, and no one on the tour has a bad word to say about him. He seems like a very down-to-earth guy. Everyone seems to like him. He is the future of golf, along with McIlroy. We should have a tremendous summer in golf. I'll tell you, comparing Spieth and McIlroy, Spieth is the best putter in the game. McIlroy probably hits the ball farther off the tee. That's what makes that matchup compelling. McIlroy will hit it further, but Spieth on the greens is probably better. I look forward to those two going at it for the next 10 years. So just a tremendous job by Jordan Spieth. And how about the Masters? What a great tournament. All the tradition, the greens are pristine, the whole course is pristine. There's not one thing out of place at the Masters, and you don't need to be a golf fan to appreciate the Masters. I'm no golfer. I mean, I could play pitch and putt golf and miniature golf. You get me on a regular course, bad things are going to happen. But I appreciate the Masters, all the tradition. What a great, great event. And Jordan Spieth was absolutely amazing over the weekend, so congratulations to him. He wins wire to wire at the Masters. We are ready for NHL hockey. The NHL hockey playoffs will start this Wednesday and Thursday. Let's go through the matchups real quick in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Let's start in the East. The 1 versus 8 matchup. The Rangers are the 1. Pittsburgh is the 8. Pittsburgh did sneak into the playoffs. They had to win the last game of the year against Buffalo to do it. I don't like what I see at all from Pittsburgh. Letang is now out with a concussion. He's going to miss the rest of the playoffs. Fleury is up and down. Crosby, he hasn't been the superstar in the playoffs that he's been in the past. Malkin's always got some injury. I don't like the Penguins here at all. I think the Rangers are going to dominate the series. The Rangers won the season series 3-1. I think it's going to be more of the same of that. I think the Rangers win this series 4-1. They do it easily. They knock Pittsburgh out in 5 games. I can't see Pittsburgh making a series of this. Not the way they limped home in the playoffs. And it's also shocking, by the way, that the Boston Bruins did not make the playoffs. How shocking is that? I was shocked the Bruins didn't make the playoffs this year. All right, so that series, the Rangers-Penguins, will start Thursday in the Garden. That's the 1-8 matchup. The 2-7 matchup will start on Wednesday up in Montreal. Montreal is the 2, Ottawa is the 7. This is a very interesting series. Ottawa came from nowhere to make the playoffs. They were way out of it. They got really hot at the end of the year. and Ottawa won the season series here 3-1. And remember, Ottawa probably thinks this is a real big rivalry. Montreal probably doesn't think this is a rivalry. They're like, Ottawa, no problem. But Ottawa looks at Montreal as a big, big rival. Ottawa is going to be flying in this series. This series could be a possible upset. Now, I'm going to go Montreal in 7 just because I think the Canadiens are real good. They have that 7th game on home ice. But I would not be shocked at all if Ottawa pushes them to the brink. Ottawa was flying at the end of the season. They played Montreal well this season. Keep an eye on this series. This series should be a long series, should be a good series. So Montreal, Ottawa, I like Montreal 4-3. Possible upset there, though. The 3-6 matchup, by the way, that Montreal-Ottawa series, like I said, will start Wednesday in Montreal. The 3-6 matchup, Tampa Bay and Detroit. This will start Thursday in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won the season series 3-1. I like Tampa Bay here. They've been incredible at home all year. They have home ice, and I do not like this Red Wing team. Now, we've seen so many great Red Wing teams in the past. This team is a shadow of those teams. This team is just mediocre at best. I think Tampa Bay with their home ice gets through here. I like Tampa Bay to win this series in 6 games. I don't like this Detroit team at all. Like I said, that series starts on Thursday. And then the 4-5 matchup, Washington the 4, the Islanders the 5. This will start Wednesday in Washington. This is a very compelling series as well. They split the season series 2-2. 2 of the games went to overtime. 1 went to a shootout, so it's been close. By the way, the Islanders could have had home ice in this round, but they lost to Columbus over the weekend, the last game of the season at the Coliseum, and that cost the Islanders home ice, and I think that will make the difference. Washington really came on at the end of the year. The Islanders didn't play all that great at the end of the year. Remember, the Islanders are moving to Brooklyn next year. I think the Coliseum, when the Islanders play their home games, is going to be rocking. This is their last time playing at the Coliseum before they move to Brooklyn. But I think Washington with the home ice is too strong with Ovechkin. I like Washington in 7 games here, but it should be a long, good series. That will start Wednesday in Washington. Over to the Western Conference we go. The 1-8 matchup, Anaheim, the 1. Winnipeg is the 8. Anaheim won the season series 3-0. This will start Thursday in Anaheim. You got to think Anaheim is going to win this series. I mean, I love those Winnipeg fans, but they're out of their depth here. Anaheim has to get through this series. So I like Anaheim here to cruise. I like Anaheim in 6 games. Anaheim just too strong for Winnipeg. I'm sure those Winnipeg fans will put on a show, but Anaheim too strong. I like Anaheim 4-2. The 2-7 matchup, St. Louis the 2, Minnesota the 7. This will start Thursday in St. Louis. The season series was 2-2. I really like the St. Louis Blues. To me, they have a legitimate shot of getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. I really like the Blues. I think the Blues win this series 4-2. Blues, to me, very, very solid team from top to bottom. I mean, they actually tied Anaheim for the most points in the Western Conference. St. Louis is a solid team, a definite contender to get to the Cup. I like St. Louis there to beat Minnesota. The 3-6 matchup, the 3 is Nashville, the 6 is Chicago. They start Wednesday in Nashville. Chicago won the season series 3-1. We'll see if Kane gets back for Chicago. We don't know when or if he's going to play. I'll tell you, Nashville limped down the stretch of the season. They got off to such a great start, and they looked terrible at the end of the season. I watched them a bunch of times at the end of the year, and they did not look like even a decent team to me. So I'm going to pick Chicago here. Even if Kane doesn't play, I think Chicago gets through and beats Nashville. I'm going to say Chicago upsets Nashville 4-2, and that's with or without Kane. Didn't like the way the Predators finished the season at all. And the 4-5 matchup, the 4 is Vancouver, the 5 is Calgary. They start Wednesday in Vancouver. I mean, this series was 2-2 during the season. There were 3 one-goal games, so it was tight. I'm going to go with Vancouver. They have home ice, and they have Miller now in net. I think that'll be enough to get them through. I like Vancouver in 7 games there, but there should be a lot of tremendous hockey. By the way, the Kings did not make the playoffs in the Western Conference. The defending Stanley Cup champions really fell apart at the end of the year that last week. I thought they were going to make it, but they fell apart at the end of the year. They lost the game to Edmonton. So LA and Boston don't make it too. They both won the Cup in recent years. They both don't make the playoffs. both had terrible weeks down the stretch, so real shocking stuff that the Bruins and the Kings didn't make the playoffs, but we should have some real tremendous hockey. I'm really looking forward to that Montreal-Ottawa series. The Washington Islanders series should be really good. I mean, I think Chicago is going to upset Nashville, Vancouver, Calgary looks like a battle up there in Canada. So there's going to be some tremendous hockey. And remember, in hockey, after the first round, they reseed. So the top seeds will always play the worst team left. It's not like the NBA where they have the set brackets. They reseed in the NHL. So the Rangers and Anaheim, they get through the first round. They will always play the worst team left. They reseed in hockey. So NHL playoffs start Wednesday. Please tune into that. The NHL playoffs is spectacular stuff. A lot of drama, a lot of great hockey. Please watch the NHL playoffs. They start on Wednesday. As far as the NBA, we're in our last week in the NBA. The NBA playoffs start over the weekend. As far as the Eastern Conference right now, Atlanta, Cleveland, Toronto, Chicago, Washington, and Milwaukee are all in the playoffs. Boston and Brooklyn have the last two spots. Indiana right behind Brooklyn. We'll see who makes that last spot. As far as the Western Conference, Golden State, San Antonio, the Clippers, Portland, Houston, Memphis, Dallas, New Orleans are the teams right now. Oklahoma City on the outside looking in. Remember, no Durant. Westbrook had 54 points last night for OKC. They still lost. Now Westbrook got a technical. He's going to be suspended. I mean, even if OKC makes the playoffs without Durant, they're not going to go far. Keep an eye on San Antonio. They're really starting to make a move. They're trying to get up to that 2 spot. San Antonio peaking at the right time. You know they are so dangerous. Here they come again. Memphis really taking a dip. Memphis is falling all the way down to the 6th spot right now. But the West is so close. One game here or there could change the whole standings. So down the stretch we come in the NBA. I did catch a little Major League Baseball over the weekend. Listen, it's way too early for baseball. I did peek at a few teams. A couple of teams I was really impressed with. Detroit 6-0 and Kansas City 6-0. Remember, Detroit has Verlander on the DL. They lose Scherzer to the Nationals, but Detroit, you look up, they're 6-0. Kansas City had a lot of change. They're 6-0. They're trying to repeat their World Series, get into the World Series last year. So Kansas City off to a nice start. Atlanta 5-1. Everyone thought they would be a terrible team. They're off to a nice start. Washington 2-4. It seems every year they struggle to get off to a hot start. Colorado 4-2. They have a good lineup, but can they pitch? San Diego's 4-3. I think they'll be improved. Red Sox and Toronto 4-2. I think they'll both be decent teams. Reds are 4-2. The Angels 2-4. Now the whole Hamilton situation. You wonder how good the Angels are going to be. Miami 1-5. I mean, they look like they're really struggling. Yankees 2-4. Could be a rough year for the Yankees. And a couple of players I kept an eye on over the last week. Adrian Gonzalez, 5 home runs for the Dodgers already. And Matt Harvey didn't look like he missed a beat. He had a tremendous performance in his opener, Matt Harvey. So he looks like he is back to pitching really, really well. Those are just a few teams I kept an eye on. Listen, it's so early in the baseball season. We got 6 months of this. Most of the teams right now are 4-2, 3-3, 2-4. We got all sorts of time. I did peek at a little baseball over the last week. By the way, the Kentucky Derby is coming up in a few weeks. I don't know if you guys caught the Arkansas Derby, but we know who the favorite of the Kentucky Derby is going to be. It's going to be American Pharoah. This horse looks like an absolute stud. Looks like, remember Big Brown from years ago? Looks like that type of horse. Big, physical horse. He dominated the Arkansas Derby. I mean, he almost lapped the field. That's how far out in front he was. American Pharoah will be the favorite in the Kentucky Derby. Now listen, most of the time the Derby favorites don't win. You got to see what kind of post position you get. You can get trapped behind all those horses. Remember the Kentucky Derby, 20 horses, a lot of jockeying to get through all that, all the other horses. So the favorite doesn't always win, but this American Pharoah looks like an absolute stud. He blew away the Arkansas Derby. Did catch some boxing over the weekend from Brooklyn. Garcia had a majority decision over Peterson in a decent fight. And Lee and Quillen had a draw that was also a decent fight from Brooklyn. And we have Pacquiao Mayweather coming up. Believe it or not, that fight is only like 3 weeks away. Usually those big mega fights, you have to wait like 6 months in advance. But these guys, it's only been like 2 months and they're already going to get in the ring. I mean, there was no real long waiting period here. Of course, we had to wait 5 years for them to actually, sign the contract to fight each other. But here, we've only had about 2 months of waiting period. They're going to fight in early May. This fight is coming up, so we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely preview that fight at the appropriate time. Last week, getting back to last week with the college basketball, want to congratulate the UConn Lady Huskies. They won their 10th national title. Gino Auriemma 10-0 in the finals. Incredible program he's built. Stewart won the MVP for her 3rd time in a row. I mean, that is unbelievable. She's played 3 years, 3 titles, 3 MVPs. I did not think she deserved the MVP in this one. She played great defense, rebounded all block shots, all that kind of stuff. Didn't have a great offensive game. I thought Jefferson for UConn definitely deserved the MVP. But hey, I'm not too big into those MVPs anyway. But I thought Jefferson deserved the MVP over Stewart. But UConn, unbelievable program, back-to-back national titles, and they've won 10 titles. And Gino Auriemma 10-0 in championship games, and they beat Notre Dame again. They beat Notre Dame the last 2 years in the finals. Notre Dame's been to the Final Four the last 4 years, has nothing to show for it, but Notre Dame will be knocking on the door for years to come. Congratulations to the UConn Lady Huskies. Also, I watched the Frozen Four. That's the college hockey playoffs. What a tremendous tournament this is. I hope you guys caught it, where the Providence Friars come back and beat Boston University 4-3. Gillies for Providence, the goalie, 49 saves. He stole the show. Boston is up 3-2 in this game with about, maybe 8-9 minutes left in the game. And the Boston goalie basically put the puck in his own net. That tied the game at 3. A couple minutes later, Providence scores to go up 4-3, and they hold on to win. And Providence wins the college hockey championship. Congratulations to the Providence College Friars. What a tremendous win for them. Great hockey up there in Boston. And Boston University has to be sick. They're up 3-2, less than 10 minutes to go, and the goalie actually puts the puck in his own net. It was like an own goal in soccer, and that turned the whole tide Providence's way. Congratulations to the Providence Friars. They win the college hockey championship. Also, one other note from the NFL. Troy Polamalu retired, one of the all-time greats. Everyone loves Polamalu. One of my favorite players to watch. Just an incredible player. He won a couple of Super Bowls, an all-time great, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Troy Polamalu, you will be missed on the field. All right, so there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Remember, you guys have the NHL playoffs starting on Wednesday and Thursday. Last week in the NBA before the NBA starts their playoffs over the weekend. Next couple of days, I guess it's baseball. You want to get into some baseball, you can have wall-to-wall baseball, every single day up until November now. Maybe a good time to peek at some early season baseball before the hockey and NBA playoffs start. You guys, thanks so much for the support. You guys are all set. You guys are all caught up. I will be back with you Monday. We'll recap the NHL, we'll recap the NBA, and we'll have a couple of shows next week. Once the NBA and the NHL playoffs starts getting into it, I'll be doing shows pretty much every day. We'll recap everything that goes on the night before in those two sports. All right, there you go. You guys are all set. You guys are all caught up. Thanks, as always, for the support. You guys are the best. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Remember to watch those NHL and NBA playoffs coming up this week. I will talk to you next Monday. Take care.